Hello folks, I'm back again. Shut the windows to shut out the wind noise. Sorry about that, but it was I couldn't keep getting up, and I'd shut one window but I couldn't reach the other one. It was too big, too far away. I had to move the plants and that big one there to get at the window. Anyway, I'm continuing to read from David Yates' Genesis to Genocide. I'm going to continue with a few words from where I left off so as not to confuse your brain like mine, and I'm going to get as much done as possible because this is important for you to digest, and all of us who we love and care about. We might have some aspiring scientists in our families, so we should get them to do some research, and then you might believe them more than me and David. But I can assure you David has been studying this a very, very long time, and he doesn't give up because he's got children, grandchildren, and he cares as well. It's because we care and love people. We don't want them to suffer, and can you imagine what it's like dying from some of this stuff that's going to invade your bodies? It's not going to be a fast death like a bullet in the head, is it? It's going to be a very painful, slow process of dying from this kind of poisoning. You have to think about that while we're, you know, I've got other things that I've got my diaries from Jamaica. You know, my life with my husband there, and the things I went through and experienced, and the poor quality of life that the people have there. I've written it all down, I kept records, I want to type it all up, but I don't mind putting it on hold. The books are there, the diaries are there. One day I'll finish it. In the meantime, we might not live to see those things happen, so this is urgent. We're actually in a war, psychological war and a poison war. It's unseen, it's invisible. It doesn't mean it's not there because you can't see it and you can't feel it and you can't taste it. That's why people don't believe in God, because he can't be seen on this earth, only through Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm not going to give you a lecture. I'm not an evangelist at all. I'm the biggest sinner in the world, or have been, and still am. We'll carry on. Health issues that cannot be reversed, like infertility, damage to fetuses and eggs. And by the way, they're using an aborted baby in the makeup of this COVID-19 vaccine. They even know the name of the baby that was aborted 40 years ago. They're using parts of that baby girl, a girl, it's got a number. I'm not having a vaccine. I think they shouldn't be using aborted babies. That's evil. Fetuses and eggs and sperm, sleep apnea, memory problems, heart problems, and many more, including increased suicides and self-harming, particularly in the youth. Almost every youth is now connected 24 hours a day, even during sleep. Devices remain a constant companion. All that radiation. Your devices may be tiny and insignificant in your hand, but go out and take a look at what they connect to. Walk over to your nearest cell tower and think. Look up. At the pulse modulating street lights, and know for sure that you are part of the biggest weapons array ever devised. Look at how surrounded and crowded this stuff makes you feel. It is a massive systemic intrusion weapon, and cleverly sold to you as your best friend forever. Stop. Think. Open wide your pineal eye and reshape your perceptions and suss these deceptions for what they truly are. It has been confirmed by the United States Congress hearing that no published research has been carried out that conclusively shows 5G to be safe, and this stuff's being rolled out across the earth. That's why they locked us down. They locked us down to put it in. I'm interrupting what he's written because the first week of lockdown, my neighbour Rosie had to have a pre-op something at our local hospital 14 miles away. I went with her. There was no one in the hospital. No visitors, no people, no wards with patients, but there was loads of white vans, electronic vans. Electricians were everywhere over the whole of the hospital, in the passageways here, there and everywhere, up in the ceilings as we walked to where she had to have her pre-op. And I pointed it out to her. I said, I know what that's all about. I said, I heard about it from Joe Imbriano in America. They're doing it here as well then. It's the only time they could put it in, when no one's in the hospital. Can't accuse them because they'll deny it. But I saw loads and loads of fans outside and men working up in the ceilings in that hospital. You wait and see. They've probably got something to put us gullible people off with some line. Anyway, let me get on with this American thing. But American controls here, we owe them too much money from history, from the last war, Second World War. That's why they need to cull again, isn't it? No war for a long time. Anyway, sorry, back to this. It has been carried out that conclusively shows 5G to be safe. Nothing shows it's safe. However, the documents prove the exact opposite, that 5G is in fact dangerous to all life. 5G is unlawful and illegal. We the people must rise above all that holds us down if we are to stand any chance of survival. And David and I mean this for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren if we get any. If I've got grandchildren, he has. I have 4 girls and a boy and 2 adopted girls from Gaza. One has a big son and the other one are now their nana. He's 5 and the other one's 1. And then I've got the twin girls, my friends in Bristol, so I'm going to be their nana because my friends have got cancer. Anyway, I have plenty to be on my high horse about because I love them all. We the people must rise above all that holds us down if we're to stand any chance of survival. I have to repeat those words because this is serious. It really is. People don't see what smart, S-M-A-R-T, really means. People are enticed by the word smart because it is inviting and intriguing. The smart in this tech is far from smart, but for sure will make us all smart in more ways than one. SMART, S-M-A-R-T, equals secret, militarized armaments in residential technologies. That's how SMART is. 5G is very different from the older, which I've got, 2G, 3G and 4G systems. I don't have 4G, I have less. 5G, listen carefully, uses a much higher frequency. Wireless tech uses about 1 gigahertz minus 4 gigahertz. 5G uses high intensity frequencies of 24 gigahertz up to 90 gigahertz. So that is 90 billion electromagnetic waves per second, hitting anything and anyone in its path. None of it is contained. It roams all environments, just like an open air microwave oven. And let me tell you this, it is so dangerous that nobody understands it. It uses the same molecule system as the hemoglobin and our oxygen uses. It's on the same pathway as what we need. So it's been designed and put on that path to go travel on the same path as our oxygen needs to travel and our blood in our body. So what does that make? That turns us. We become weaponized. It can kill us. How do you think that people can't breathe? Those machines, what they put people on, how do you know they weren't weapons? Back to this. Just like an open air microwave. Microwaves weren't designed for us to heat food. They were designed as a weapon of war. And they were used as weapons of war by the Americans and probably us. And they found out that they could cook their food on it. So they then thought, oh yeah, you put all these in people's houses. I haven't got one. Don't want one. I cook my own food. That's why I'm fat. I don't want microwave food. I want real food. Remember, radiation needs no invite. It's already proven that people are getting sick from the lower frequencies. Just imagine what's to come from off these new ultra high frequencies. People will get sicker quicker. Illnesses will be much more intense as we lose all defense against an enemy we can't see. Remember this, there's no safe dose. Our safety has been completely violated. The benefits of convenience must never outweigh the risk to health. The companies out rolling this tech have no motivation to making it safe. They want it rolled out, sold out and fast. Your heart and brain have electrical currents that run at about 8 to 10 Hertz waves per second, whereas wireless runs at about 2 billion waves per second. So you can surely see the conflict between us and our devices being played out. Multiple devices, from cordless to mobile phones laptops, iPads, iPhones, and smart meters. Don't have one. Get rid of it. Tech are all running and creating their own individual radiations at once. Did you know that radiation depletes oxygen, leading to oxidative stress? Scattered particles. Look them up. Start reading. They talk about AI, artificial intelligence, running everything eventually. What a selfish way of seizing control. Just imagine police and governments and education placed entirely into cyber hands. It's the perfect blueprint for total control. Common sense thinking tells me there would be no whistleblowers. We would have no way of complaining, because who would care? Who would give a toss? AI wouldn't, it couldn't. AI ain't got feelings, no emotions, zero attachments to anything living, nothing in common with real life. AI will control the voting systems. So we know exactly how that will play itself out. It'll rule the banking system with its virtual rod of nanoparticulate iron. Human involvement will be taken out of every equation. Never mind about a James Bond film, David Yates. This sounds like science fiction, but the saddest thing as I read it, it's real. It's their science, and it's no longer fiction. It's a reality. Sorry to put that in your book, but it's just hit me as I'm reading it. You can see it is happening now through the benefit system, or the universal credit system, which used to be DSSS in my young day. DSSS, that's like Nazis. Oh dear. Through hospitals and the ways in which AI is manipulating the way our health system operates. Yes, lockdown, 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 permanently lockdown. No one can go to hospital, lockdown. It isn't manipulation, it's AI stipulation. Well, because there's 10 million on the waiting list, and some of my neighbours and some of my relatives and people I know are waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and got cancelled appointments. I think AI is running it. There isn't a human there, and that's what I'm sure of. Who wants to be answerable to an algorithm? Not me. This autonomous arise spells our demise, and here's why. Autonomous will grab control. It'll take away jobs. It'll become the skills we lost, our skills. It'll take away our identities and assume itself to be our new owner. It will rob us all of self-respect, snatch away hopes and dreams as it deems us to be true, useless eaters and wasters. Then what? What point will there be in us as a species if we can no longer fend for ourselves? Once we surrender our self-defense and place dependency upon the unfeeling, non-caring, new world disorder, it is game over for us. AI will be too busy making sure it survives beyond us. It will see us as its enemies. Make no mistake. It feeds its needs through us, being dependent on it. AI won't risk us severing this tie of bind. Robots are stealthily taking over. Look at who you know now that truly possesses a skill. Look at the upcoming youth who unknowingly are sacrificing skills for tech jobs. Everyone wants to work in IT or become an internet sensation or even a gamer. Who's crying out to become a skilled worker? We are fed the lie that we will need all this autonomous bullshit in order to progress. We have forsaken our duty to our children and allowed this fake economy to seep into every aspect of our older, wiser ways. We do not need robots. We don't need AI. We are being told we do. And that is the difference. It is a sad state of affairs when our supposed university graduates have zero skills, no work skills, nor ethics, no life skills, just fake tech skills. What a mindset. Education certificates now mean very little to anyone. Education, as far as I'm concerned, starts with the self. Self-learning, self-thinking, and working things out for oneself. Gathering self-knowledge, not of any college, but from real life. Life that knows instinctively how to separate fact from fiction, allowing us the opportunity to actually make that distinction. Okay guys, I'm going to stop there because I think it's an appropriate place to stop. 22 minutes of me must be enough. You need a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever it is you have. God bless you. See you in a bit. I'll do a little bit